All right, family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR prepping. So you already know we're about to get into it. Get your drink, pull up, let's talk about it. I'm bringing you guys a topic today that's kind of a fun, lighter topic, right? It's still about grid down, baby. It's still about, hey, how to prepare. I'm still going to give you a few tips. But basically what I'm going to do is, how do you entertain your family during a crisis, during a grid down situation? You don't have power, possibly, maybe it's extreme as nuclear fallout. I don't know, but we're just going to keep it light today. We're going to talk about your basic grid down situation and different things that you could do to keep everybody in your family occupied, right? Entertained, doing something. And I think you're going to be surprised. Some of this stuff is productive stuff. It's not just all willy-nilly. But let's get into it. And let's see how many, you guys, I didn't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 things. So 12 different ways to entertain your family during grid down. So first thing I have is puzzles. Now, let me put you on game. First of all, if you've never done a puzzle, and I know there's a lot of people out there that have never done a puzzles, like what? Okay, but puzzles can be very entertaining. They can be not only entertaining, very calming, very soothing. They can be, there can be some, what's the word I'm looking for? Some back and forth as far as competition. And some might argue, hey, Tasha, puzzle and grid down, there's no power. How are we doing puzzles? Well, baby, it's called daylight, okay? Grid down, it might be a thing. There might not be any power. You might not have a lot of ways to light your home at night. However, during the day, you still have to entertain yourself if it's grid down. If it's total grid down and there's nobody going to work and going to school, then you have to be able to entertain each other during the day as well. Okay, so puzzles I like. And you can get them as complex or not complex as possible, right? So you can get ones that the whole family can do that take a very long while. So it's a long-term type entertainment thing, right? You can take the right puzzle out that's nice and large, put it on a table, and everybody just kind of works on it during, whenever they feel like, they want to do something, right? So I enjoy puzzles, surprisingly. And I didn't realize I even liked puzzles until my later years in the service. I had a friend and he was all about puzzles. And it's funny because he always used to invite people over to his room to do these puzzles. And I was quite good at it. And I would always come in there and immediately be finding stuff. And he would always try to find ways to trick me to stay there so that I would continue to do the puzzle. Or if I started talking too much, he'd be like, no, Tasha, you need to concentrate. The puzzle, right? And I was like, man, you're really using me for this puzzle. So anyway, I'm just saying, have fun with it. It is a way, and it might be something that you haven't really thought of, unless you were already into them, okay? Next thing I have is cards. So obviously there's 1,001 card games. There's different Uno cards, different kids card games, phase 10. But there's all types of regular card games, right? And a lot of times people will be like, hey, do you know how to play this card game? And I'm like, no, I never even heard of that. So what I would say is all the card games that you have heard of, like with basic playing cards, deck of cards, go ahead and download the rules now, right? So that you have them, put them with your cards and stuff, so that you already have that downloaded in case you're not able to go online and find rules and things like that. That way you have a variety. You're not playing the same old card game. Maybe that's your thing and that's all you guys need in life is your one game, right? Maybe you're gonna play spades the whole time. I don't know. But figure out some different rules and some different games for different cards, and get your backup cards so that different entities, different people have cards. Maybe the cards, kids want to go over here and play a card game. Maybe you want to play solitaire over here. Maybe a group wants to play poker. I don't know, okay? But have several decks of cards, all right? Just regular playing cards. Next thing I have is board games. So obviously all types of different board games. The more you have, the more variety you have, the better, right? To really keep those kiddos entertained. But that's a family event, right? That's a family thing. Get variety in the sense of, hey, board games that, only a couple people can play, or board games that the entire family can play. And I think you'll be good to go. Okay, so board games. And if you have bought board games in the past, but you guys haven't really put hands on them, you haven't really looked at them lately, take a look at them. Make sure you have all the pieces. See what you'd like to add, right? Go when you're in the store next time, just go to the aisle with the board games and just kind of see what's new, and maybe pick up some new fresh games, okay? And you can do this cheap. Go to the thrift store, all types of places. I see board games all the time at garage sales. I never get them, but now that I'm thinking about this, I'm like, oh, okay, so I see board games all the time for very cheap. All right, next thing I have is, okay, so if you have power, you have some way to power, maybe your phone, your TV can plug into a small generator, whatever. Maybe you're able to watch some sort of movie that's on an app or already downloaded on your phone or a device. And then you can mirror that to possibly a TV and you guys can watch a movie. Maybe you can connect it to a projector. That really depends on if you have power. That also depends on what has gone down exactly when we say grid down, right? Is that an internet issue? Is it a just a power issue? Like, what is the issue? Okay. A lot of things are disrupted though, that even though they're not disrupted directly, just the power being disrupted disrupts them. Okay. So might not be an internet thing, but the internet company might be completely, dissolved. Something might happen to them where they're not able to provide service because of power. Okay. Next thing I have is, games. So games that are on your tablet, your phone. This only works really too is if you still have internet, right? A lot of games, online games that go on your cell phone and a tablet and stuff, you've got to be online. But there is ones that you can download that you do not have to be on. You don't have to be online to play. So take a look at your games, see which ones you already have that you have to be on the internet to play. Obviously, if you have internet already, you can continue to play those. And then if you don't have any like that, maybe take a look at the game center and find you just some basic games in there that you're able to play just to keep your mind busy that you could download now and that would be good to go for later. Now, remember, obviously this means that you have the capacity to be able to charge. A lot of people during grid down, as simple as just taking stuff to the car and charging in the car. So charging, that's how they're keeping basic things like tablets and cell phones charged. You're just charging it in your phone, in the car. And that's it. Okay. So that is something very, very simple that a lot of people can do. But again, excuse me, it depends on what's going on. There's just a lot of other variables of whether that's going to be an option or not. Okay. The next thing is, just hot cocoa, s'mores, maybe some drink, maybe some hot tea, maybe a cigar, right? Just your normal relaxing type drinks and vices that maybe help calm you down, right? Having a nice cigar, having a nice glass of whiskey, kids, right? Having some s'mores, have a night where you guys do s'mores, or having some hot cocoa, pull out those dehydrated marshmallows and have fun with that, right? So just having a moment where you're just enjoying each other's company and conversation over a beverage, okay? Next thing I have is reading books, right? So books. So we have a lot of books. I love books. What I find entertaining that I've noticed lately since moving back, my sister and her kids are still here. And so my sister loves those cheesy romantic movie books, right? My kiddo calls them love books, TT's love books. And they're not my favorite, you guys. However, I've been finding them everywhere and I've been keeping them. I found a bunch in the garage that maybe she was planning to throw them away. I don't know, but I kept them, right? I took them, I kept them, because the thing is, when something bad happens, you want to be able to entertain yourself. And I know that books is something that I will go to. I'll be reading books, and you want to have a variety with everything. Maybe you don't want to read your 1,000 prepper books. Okay. Maybe I'm going to want to read some cheesy romance books that totally take my mind somewhere else, away from what is happening, right? Into a fantasy land. So keep books, even books that you've read. Hubby reads like crazy. I keep all his books, even if he's read them, because he's such a reader that he'll reread a book over and over and over again. So books, super, super important. You can include magazines into this, manuals, all types of things, but books, keep them, and then don't be getting rid of them just because you decided that you already read it and you don't need it, because you'd be surprised what you'll want to do if it's grid down. Next thing I have is yard games. So stuff like having stuff to play catch, right? Having a baseball and a glove, some gloves. Having some big Tetris games, right? There's those big yard games that you can buy for Tetris and, or not Tetris, I said Tetris, Twister, stuff like that. There's all types of yard type games that you can do, have fun. This includes even stuff like if you have a pool table or stuff like that, right? But yard games, different things you would do in the yard, right? Flag football, whatever, okay? Different things like that. Next thing I have is make meals an event, right? So, hey, we're cooking off grid. Make it exciting, it's not like normal cooking. Get people involved, get kids involved. Hey, you want to help me do this? Or let's try to cook something that we think will be difficult or more difficult to cook off grid, and let's cook it, right? Let's try to bake a cake. Let's try to make cookies. Let's try to make some things that we think will take a little bit more effort to make off grid than it would at home, right? And make it fun and entertaining. I get this if you're really in, like, say it's dangerous times and you're not really allowed to go outside. Some of this stuff I know gets tapered down because you're indoors, but this is something you can still make fun even if your cooking station is indoors, okay? Next thing I have is journal time. So encourage everybody to be writing down once a day, just kind of how the day went, how were they feeling. This takes time, right? So it's hours, not hours in the day, but it's minutes in the day that they're entertained. Their mind is doing something else outside of like a game. They're journaling, so they're writing down what's happening to them. So they're thinking through their emotions, how they're feeling, and that's all very therapeutic for high emotions that might be going on when you're in a situation where you can't do you might not be able to do everything you want to do. You can't leave the house, you can't leave the area. It's maybe dangerous. So there's just all this stuff going on, and by having everybody journal what's kind of going on, it's therapeutic for their mind, right? For their mental health of getting that out on paper. And it's not for anybody else. It's not to put somewhere or whatever. It's just their journal to write. They can doodle if they just write a couple sentences and then doodle the rest, fine, whatever. Okay. That goes to another one that I didn't even put on here, which is art, right? Doing artwork, doodling, coloring. That's a bonus. Coloring books, art books, markers, having blank paper for the kids to draw and write, maybe some canvas boards and some paint, and they can paint. That's another great one that I didn't. So I just added that one, you guys. That's a good one, art. Okay, next one I have is chores or tasks. Now, a lot of people are like, chores? That's not really entertainment. Like, chores, but really it's more of taskers. It's tasks. It's things to keep you busy, right? In an everyday situation, you have things that everybody in the home is responsible for doing, whether you call it chores, whether you call it helping each other, whatever you call it, there's stuff that everybody has to do in the home. It's no different. Grid down, stuff still has to happen. If anything, more things have to happen than before, right? You have to keep an eye out on things. You've got to be doing things. Okay. So you're going to need help. Okay. So, tasks or having jobs and responsibilities for everybody does keep people busy. If that's a time in the day where kids know they have to do this, this, and this, that is time spent doing that, and therefore taking away from that clock, okay, of trying to stay busy physically, mentally, and all that good stuff. Okay, so chores / tasks. And then the next thing I have, or the last thing I have, is family workouts, right? Going outside and, doing a small workout. Hey, mama's going to go do an ab workout. You guys want to go out there with me and do it? Just find a nice piece of grass or put down a blanket and just make it fun. It doesn't have to be some strenuous big workout. It could be something simple. It could be yoga. It could be stretches. Sometimes I just go stretch. It could be more if it can be more. But again, if it's grid down, what are the variables? You're probably not going to be leaving just because there is going to be a heightened awareness of crime and different things going on. Even if it's not full chaotic yet, there will be a group that moves into that type of, action right away, right? You're going to have to be worrying about that. Grid down now, cameras are down and different security features are down. And so you're just going to have people that are trying to take advantage of those types of situations. Okay. So it might not be that easy to just be out, and about doing things, right, in the neighborhood or out and about. Most of the time, you're going to need to stay home, right, as a family unit. All right. Let's get into tips. So I think these are fun tips, but just change it up. So have your change of scenery. Yes, you have your kitchen table. You have a table maybe that's like, hey, that's where we play games at. Where else in the house can games be played at? Is there coffee tables in a different room? Is there a den? Is there another living room? Is there other bedrooms that have maybe a card table in it? Outside, do you have a porch or a balcony where you can throw up a card table? Even just in the backyard, throw up a table. Changing that scenery to be able to play some stuff outside will be helpful. Plus, by you having a table outside on your front porch, let's say, or out front, and you're playing card games, that's your ability. You have a way that you're keeping eyes on the neighborhood. You can kind of watch and see what's happening while you guys are just having fun playing a card game, right? And then people know you're there. You guys are active. It's just because, again, people are going to be taking advantage of, like, hey, people that aren't home or whatever. And so if you guys are visible, you're out, then people know, you're there. People are there. People live here. And it's a way for you during whatever time you're playing out there to be watching and observing as well what is going on in your neighborhood and surrounding area. Okay. It also keeps you available to, okay, neighbors now see you. Maybe they come over, want to share intel, want to share information that they know about what's going on or whatever, because you're visible and they can see you. So I don't know. Again, variables. It depends on what's going on for a lot of this stuff. My second thing is don't eat and drink too much. Really, this is the drink part, right? A lot of people will, if there's a stressful time, they will have a drink. We have drinks from time to time. But what I'm saying is this is not the time to get belligerent. This is not the time to get drunk, and to drink too much, because this is the time that you need to be on your toes and be able to pay attention to what is going on in your surrounding areas, right? And so it's not the time to get drunk and not be paying attention and be passing out. And then now, you're done, right? You can't be counted on for anything. Next thing I have is, okay, so don't forget your kids' favorites, right? What are the things your kids like to do? I know they like to play on the tablet and their phones or whatever all day long, right? But outside of that, what are the things that they like to do, right? What do they like to do when they're outside playing in the backyard? What's their favorite things to do? What are little things that make them happy, okay? What is the specific art thing that they like to do? Are they all about coloring? Are they all about some art? Do that. Are they the physical art person where you have to get maybe some projects and crafty stuff to the side and have that ready that you guys could put something together? They want to glue stuff together and make something. Figure out what your family likes to do, and then just start prepping those items. Start getting those things. Go to Hobby Lobby. Go do a trip where you just get a bunch of stuff like that. Okay, arts and crafts and things like that. Don't forget pets, okay? Pets need to be entertained too. So if you're not taking the dog for a walk, that means you're taking the dog in the backyard, maybe running it around, playing catch with it, throw, all that stuff. Get some chew toys, get some snacks. Think about the dog too in regards to entertainment, loving on the dog, including this animal into a time where maybe, you don't do that much, okay? Maybe it's just you walk the dog when you have to walk it. It's very regimental, but just remember, this is a time where your pets will be on a lockdown type situation as well. And so just keep that in mind, okay? And then next thing I have, this is my last thing, is make it fun. Like with all these games you're playing and all that stuff, do a competition board, right? Make a board where you keep track of who won what, right? It's a competition. Maybe have little prizes, and take pictures. If your phone is still up and running, take pictures. If it's not, maybe get some disposable cameras that you have in your preps that you can pull out, take pictures, document what you guys did during this time that was no grid. Maybe a storm came through and this is just a couple week grid down where there's no power. You guys are still out and about. You can still go places, but for the most part, people are staying home, right? Because there's no power. document that, right? Take pictures of your neighborhood, take pictures of you guys playing games, doing different things, the chores, the working out, whatever it is you guys are doing, take pictures. Those are memories, okay? And if you make it fun and you make it a family unit event that you guys are all in this together, then it's not as extreme, it's not as crazy. And the thing is if you don't prepare for this stuff, it's a hard time, right? If you're the type that you guys don't have any books in your house, right? You're not really book readers. You don't really have games in your house. You guys all are already, adjusted to everything is electronic and that's all you have. And then you have no way to power it. That's a hard time. Imagine this, even if you have your phone and you guys are just used to just being on your phone all the time, separated units, and you able to charge your phones in the car, but imagine the internet's down, so you can't play your games, the apps are down, right? So it's not like you can go to TikTok or some other place to entertain yourself, right? With the feed. So then it becomes, what do you do? That phone is not going to be that entertaining to you if you don't have internet or you can't get to these apps or different things like that. Okay. And so then it will become, you're looking around trying to figure out. And the sad part about this is that some people will not be able to adapt. And I know this is a fun topic, but some people won't be able to adapt and entertain and figure out how to keep their mind busy and physically stay moving and all that. And so that will become an issue. We have a competition in our home for steps, right? So you can incorporate that of how do you still do who has the most steps in a situation where you guys are in the house or you're not really going any place. Okay. So it's just, you make it fun, but you got to think it out now so that you can get the preps ahead of time, get the things ahead of time. You can look at what you have already. Where is it situated? Do you have your backup stuff? That type of thing. Okay. So I'm looking forward to the comments below, seeing if you guys like this. I might not get a lot of likes for this, but I feel like it's important to think about the other aspects of grid down and when bad things happen and being prepared for those, because mental health is so huge in general, right? And it's even more important when something drastic happens, being able to bounce back and adapt in that situation. And this is how you do it. With keeping people busy. Okay. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Take care. Bye.